So one thing I was curious about, so you are the CEO of the Endless OS Foundation. What I understand the that being a position, but I have no idea what that entails as a job. What do you actually do in this position? Like, I have no idea. I
I
don't
know
think
you've
anyone has an
described my
idea what a CEO does. They just have this the CEO is just this person that exists.
I just say you've described my Monday morning. Like, oh my god, what am I doing? So functionally, like day to day, I'm managing the leadership team in Endless.
Uh-huh.
So we've got different departments that report to me. So we have an engineering team that does sort of technology and product and design stuff. We have a kind of program outreach team. So we have a VP of programs, and we've got people who go out and talk to partners and try and set up partnerships and
Mhm.
deployments where people will use the stuff that we build, and we'll help them and they'll understand it and roll it out in different communities. And we have a commercial team that's working on opening channels
Right.
for our laptop financing program. So we did some pilots in the US, and now we're kind of trying to build some new, build and scale some pilots in Guatemala and Mexico.
Mhm.
So there's very recently we have a chief of staff, but before that there's operations stuff, so finance and our kind of people team reporting into me.
Mhm.
So there's managing stuff. I think there's also kind of making our strategy kind of work and make sense, and
Uh-huh.
that's kind of ongoing conversation between kind of our founder Matt Dalio and kind of the philanthropy team that kind of funds us,
Mhm.
and our board and our leadership team, and trying to kind of synthesize these different inputs and figure out like what is a good thing for us to do in terms of our programs and our partners, what delivers impact, what do we think is cool and worth doing from a product and an engineering perspective,
Mhm.
what do those different stakeholders think is going to work and what do they want to do. So it's kind of an ongoing conversation of kind of hearing and figuring out these different inputs, and then kind of updating the plan and setting the goals for the team, and then helping to lead the team to achieve those goals. And
Mhm.
all of those kind of trade-offs of management, of like stepping back and letting people solve the problems, or figuring out when people need more specific support and how I can step in or how I can bring people in to make sure that the team is kind of productive.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that's a good answer, but a bit of operations, a bit of strategy, a bit of finance, a bit of management, a little bit of just leadership by saying like we should go over here because it seems like the best thing to do.
Mhm.
Kind of some combination of those.
It certainly gives me a better answer than I had before. As I said, I didn't know. I understand that CEO existed as a position, but I never bothered to actually look into it. I think most people just assume the CEO is just a figurehead that doesn't do anything. So look, that's as good of an answer as I could I could
Yeah,
expect.
I mean, it depends on what Zoom level you
Yeah,
set. I
yeah.
mean, there's one Zoom level where, like, I go to a lot of meetings.
Mm,
I occasionally write some documents. I comment on a lot of documents. Sometimes I open a spreadsheet. There's a bit of Slack, and then I'm pretty terrible at email, but that happens somewhere
mm,
in your day as well. But yeah, it's all about just trying to get everyone to understand the goals,
right.
understand what we need to get to the goals, making sure they have it, and making sure that we all think it's a good idea and we're all moving in the same direction.